Ginni damn Thomas. Once again, wife of Clarence Thomas. We've been talking about Ginni Thomas for what, 3 or 4 weeks straight, because not only was she involved in the terrorist attack, not only did she come in disguise on January 6th, not only did she try to manipulate the chief of staff for Donald Trump to overturn the election, she was trying to stack the staff at the White House. And the list, well, let's just say not really a who's who in America. A CNN report coming out Sunday. This is so interesting. Multiple sources on the receiving end of such pleas recalled that several candidates who Thomas sought to install in the administration had previously failed background checks or turned down lower level positions that they were ultimately offered, said the report. According to one former official, there was one candidate of Thomas who didn't believe women should serve in the US military. So Ginni Thomas, the wife of a Supreme Court justice, is involved in activism, that's fine. But trying to overthrow the election, that's not fine. And the irony of this, her husband is the only dissent on a case about January 6th. He's the only Supreme Court justice who dissented with the other justices, and his dissent happens to be aligned to her sentiment. You call that a, okay. All right, there's more. There were others of Thomas's recommendations that had inappropriate things posted to the social media accounts. There was good reason they did not get hired, according to a former official. Now, if you are a conservative and you could not get a job under the Trump administration because of your background, whoa, there's more. Several recalled Ginni Thomas bringing up staff shakeups when she came with Justice Thomas to a private lunch with Trump and Melania. Yep, they went and had a private lunch together. Sources told CNN that during the lunch, Ginni Thomas told Trump that she knew about several candidates for administration jobs. And Trump asked her to follow up with his staff, said the report. In the weeks that followed, she tried to follow up, but aides delayed her demands out of fear she would kill Trump's criminal justice reform bill. Damn, she's strong. She can kill the whole bill? Wow. She then told both Trump and his daughter Ivanka that the deep state was blocking her list of hiring and firing. What? Ginni, this has gone too damn far, madam. You are not in charge of hiring and firing at the White House. All right, what gave you that idea? Do you believe that you're part of some occultic organization that gives you secret powers over those in authority and those around you in the US government and beyond? Do you belong to a cult like that? Well, she actually did at one time. Here's the clip.
Hi, I was in LifeSpring and I was what I considered to be deprogrammed. And I guess coming out of, when we talk about it, the focus of this discussion is on coming out of a cult. There were a number of things that went on for me. When you come away from a cult, you have to find a balance in your life as far as getting involved with fighting the cult or exposing it. And kind of the other angle is getting a sense of yourself and what was it that made you get into that group, and what open questions are there that still need to be answered. And I think I'm struggling with a balance between that. I want to expose LifeSpring. I want to keep other people from going through that experience. But I also don't want to go overboard in that regard. So all those things that got me to LifeSpring are still there. And I guess I struggle with not going overboard and fighting the cults, but I know that's important too.
Some people just about that cult life, okay? Ginni Thomas, someone who believes in the sentiment of QAnon, has expressed conspiracy theories, told the chief of staff for Donald Trump that he needed to overturn the election because God wanted him to. She put this in writing. Really, that's a cult-like behavior, Ginni. All of this is occultic, okay? Top aides had briefed Trump before his meeting with Thomas and informed him that there were problems with the candidate she was pushing, said officials, speaking to CNN. One of the former officials said they were afraid that Trump would have been easily persuaded by Ginni Thomas' suggestions if they had not briefed him beforehand. Yeah. Ginni damn Thomas, who would have thought that this white woman is running not only the Supreme Court, but the Trump administration? All right, Jackson, thoughts?
Yeah, so up until recently, I didn't even know who Ginni Thomas was. And even as the story kind of progressed out more and more, I still didn't pay much attention to it because there's so much going on. But the more like it kept coming out, and it's like, the hell? Like, who is this woman? Like, what is going on? Like, this really goes to show like who really can be, just having strong influence under the scenes, people that you never really have seen, especially like in those, revolving door positions within government. Not that she was in one officially or specifically, but she has this type of influence. And again, I didn't even know who she was up until recently. So, yeah. But again, if you can't get a job in the Trump administration because of your background, like you said, then man.
And here's the other thing, Jackson. These are the conversations we somewhat know about because people have decided to go on record. I'm sure Ginni Thomas has been moving like this for many years. And I'm sure that some of her recommendations and some of her push and pull has actually made a real impact inside of government. I believe wholly in a negative way, but I think she has gotten things accomplished by her advocacy. And remember, she has this significant connection to a sitting United States Supreme Court justice, which makes it all the more problematic of her stealth movement, not only inside of the White House, but also outside of the White House. And now we have text messages that clearly link Ginni Thomas, wife of a Supreme Court justice, to the terrorist attack on January 6th.